Hello, 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 beautiful people. I hope you all are, in fact, magically delicious, blessed, and highly flavored. I know I am. Now, listen, today we are going to be having a discussion about to bleed or not to bleed? That is the question. Let's talk about some fibroids. Ladies, I know that I am not the only one who has suffered in silence. And by silence, honey, I'm screaming every chance I get. And we have another beautiful queen who also was suffering in silence, and now it has no problem with speaking and screaming out to everybody. So, that being said, you want to get to know her? Well, you're going to have to wait for a few moments. If you want to meet her after this. So, hello, 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 beautiful queen. How are you doing, Malika? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Magically delicious honey bunches of oats. Listen, I gotta put it out there.
Yes.
Realtor to the stars, philanthropist to all of the people. Okay, speaker, broker, owner, and now fibroid warrior.
And now Fibroid Warrior. Yes.
Honey, I love it. I absolutely love it. There are so many women out there who are going through so much. And like I said, I am one of those women, right? With me going through everything that I have gone through with my fibroids, I've gone vegan because of them.
Oh,
right?
nice.
I was able to shrink them on my own. In addition to shrinking them, I had the surgery to have them removed. What is it? A myomectomy. After the myomectomy, I was like, you know what? I can go back to eating meat. 9 months later,
wow.
I'm now pregnant with. I think I'm about 4 or 5 months pregnant right now as we speak with my baby. Well, I had the myomectomy in 2019.
Okay.
And now we're looking at it happened in 2023.
Okay.
So I'll say this drama, okay? But I want to hear about you and your drama. Talk to me a little bit about how this started, and then I want to play a little video.
Yes. So I was diagnosed at 23 when I was pregnant with my second son. And he's 25 now. Well, he'll be 25 in the summer. And so I was getting my sonogram, and they were like, well, you have fibroids, but you're young. They were like, you have to worry about it like when you get in your 40s, which seemed so far away at the time. Now I'm getting ready to be out of my 40s. I'm like, what is happening? But anyway, so I did what the doctor said. I didn't worry about it. I just kept on with my life. They were so small, didn't even know whether they were there. But by the time I got into my 30s, that's when I realized it was an issue because I had like 2 miscarriages. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm having them from these fibroids. So I had my children very, very young. I was in my second year of college. I was 17 because I came out of high school early. So I was 17 when I had my first son. And looking back on it, it's like, thank God I did have them young, because if I waited up, they might not be here, because I started having miscarriages and all kind of problems. And long story short, I just ignored myself, taking care of everybody else, running my business, taking care of my clients, taking care of my children. And I kept saying, I'm going to do it. I don't have time to be laid up. I don't have time. Next thing you know, I'm looking ridiculous. I had a stomach 7 months pregnant. And it took 20 years of me just living with these fibroids, not even realizing really what was happening inside. I knew it was happening, but I didn't realize how bad it was until it got bad. And then, just like the rest of us, all the symptoms, the bulkiness, I got to the point where I couldn't tie my shoe. I couldn't zip my pants. I was peeing on myself a couple days a week. Like, I had so much weight on my bladder.
A
Yes.
couple
It
days
was
a
like
week.
a couple days a week. Like I told you, I'm an open book. It was like I would come back from showing properties, and if I did not get in the house like right on time, that was it. It was urgency, they call it, of course. I stopped running. You see how big I am now is because I have on a big sweater, like a big, huge, warm home sweater. But I'm still heavier than before because I used to run like marathons with my dad, and I stopped running because of the fibroids. So it just took over my life, and it just got to the point where I couldn't take anymore. I couldn't even show a whole house. Like I know you're a realtor too, and you get it. I could not even show a whole house. I had to start at the top of the house. I couldn't start from the basement. I would have to start from the top and make my way down. Like it impacted every part of my life. So I just finally had to have a hysterectomy. And that was another reason why I ignored it, because I was like, I don't want a hysterectomy. For the past like 5 years of this, I kept saying, I don't want no hysterectomy. It's part of my aura. It keeps me, my eye, all that. And then after a while, I was just like, I can't take it anymore. So I had a hysterectomy.
Honey,
Yeah.
first of all, you said you see how big I am. I'm like, honey, you look amazing. What are you talking about?
I am big. I'm 4'11" and 190. So, and when I came home from the surgery, I had lost 10 pounds of fibroids. I got a little head start. And then, oh well.
Well, if you don't mind, I want to play this video real quick because
so people know what not to do.
ma'am.
Okay, well, it's time for me to let the cat out the bag. I've been hiding something for a very, very long time. I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about. And as you can see, like on social media, I only show here up. Or when I do photo shoots, it's only from here up. Or when I plan like my outfits for my photo shoots, it's from here up. And I know what you're thinking. I look very pregnant. I look extremely pregnant. But guess what? I am not. My children are 20. By the time you see this, will be 23 and 28. So what is going on here? These are actually fibroids. And this is a notice to you to not ignore yourself like I have. For my surgery, I'm going to show y'all what I really look like. This is what I really look like. And I've been doing a great job of hiding it because I always suck my stomach in, or I hide it with what I have on, or I hide it on camera. But this is what I really look like. This is what you look like when you ignore yourself with fibroids. Look at my stomach. Can you see it? I have a stomach the size of somebody 7.5 months pregnant. I have tumors everywhere. I have tumors down here. I have tumors all across here. I have tumors over here, all the way going back here to the point where it's poking into everything. I have a hard time tying my shoes. I have to pee all the time. I have accidents, if you know what I'm saying. I have tightness, fullness. I'm uncomfortable, and I look absolutely ridiculous. So I know you're gonna be like, damn, how she hide all that? Because I'm good, okay? But it's time. So I have my pre-op appointment ago. Now it's time for me to go to surgery. So by the time you see this video, this will be gone. Because I said I'm not showing nothing until the surgery. So please don't do what I did. I love helping other people, but I've done it to the point where I'm hurting myself. So I actually tried to go get this done once before. I went to the surgical center. This was years ago, over 5 years ago. I went to the surgical center and found out that no, I was not getting a fibroid surgery that day because I was pregnant, for real pregnant. So I had to cancel my fibroid surgery. Then I tried a couple times to go back and do it, and then life just kept happening. And then y'all know my son got hurt, so I had to take time off for that because that's of course number one. So this is what I really look like. This is what I really honestly look like. This is ridiculous, but this is what I look like. So this is a lesson to you. Please get your sonograms. If you have fibroids, please get them taken care of because I've ignored myself. Some of it wasn't my fault, but I've ignored myself. It's my responsibility. So by the time you see this, I will be sleeping in La La Land, getting all this cut out. I'm having a partial hysterectomy. If I would have done this sooner, I would have been able to get a different procedure where I could have just have these, have them shrink these and keep my uterus. But I've let it go too far. It's too late. So my uterus should be down here. It's up here, like I'm actually pregnant. And this is all tumors. Now, this is hereditary. Well, first of all, y'all know 50% of Black women have fibroids anyway. But in my family, it's really bad. Like, my mother had this same surgery. She didn't let it go this far. She took care of herself much sooner than me, but they still took 32 fibroids out of her. For me, they've lost count. They've lost count on how many I have. So even like when I went to Mexico and y'all saw those pictures, I have to dress very particularly, and I have to wear things that hide this. So I've been hiding this so long. I've learned to hold this in so much that you would never know. Like, this is what I usually do when I'm on video. Y'all notice I'm always up like this and I'm holding it in. But after that video, help me, I can't breathe. So I don't like lying, but I've been keeping a secret. So anyway, now I'll be able to wear some cute outfits again. I have to change my whole wardrobe. Y'all see I have on tights with my outfits a lot of times. That's why, so I can get it over my belly. You notice I don't never have on anything fitted around the waist. It's to hide this. So yeah. So anyway, wish me luck because I'm getting surgery right now. Pray for your girl, and I'll keep you posted on how things go afterwards. Okay? All right. Bye.
Honey, how? First of all, let's start off with,
Yes.
how did you hide that?
People ask me that all the time. Looking back at it, I almost wanted to cry because I haven't watched that in probably over a year. I'm about 14 months out from my surgery, and I'm looking at myself like, girl, I know it was bad then, but now that I have a normal tummy now, nice and flat.
Yes.
Yes, nice and flat. And looking back on it, I'm like, how did you let yourself get that bad? So to answer your question, peplums, I did a lot of peplums. Yeah, we know that. I had like regular peplums. I had traditional. I love traditional African clothes. Every time I go to Africa, I buy more clothes. They do all my peplum stuff. I mean, it was peplums, and like oversized stuff. It happens so, it matriculates so sneakily. So,
Yes.
like you just get used to it, and then you look up and you're like, I'm about to have a whole baby. Like, I just got good at hiding it and dressing around it and sucking it in. Those muscles around that belly are good. I would just suck it in as tight as I could. And then after nobody was looking, or if I was finished recording, I'd be like, it would just be belly everywhere. But it was terrible. And I don't mind sharing because I do not want other people to get like that. Because it's funny looking back on it, I'm laughing at myself, but I was so uncomfortable. It impacted my life so badly. I was embarrassed. Like, you just look crazy. I looked crazy. And it was impacting my health too, because I started having heart palpitations because it was so much weight up on this, part of me, my boobs into my chest and everything, that especially when I would lay down, I would start to have heart palpitations. And I thought it was premenopause. They were like, well, you're about to go through menopause. Maybe it's perimenopause or whatever. But since I had that fibroid surgery, one, I've not gotten a yeast infection since then, because all the stuff, I was getting yeast infections a lot. I haven't had one since. And two, I can breathe normally. And three, I don't get the heart palpitations anymore. I think I might have had 3 in the past year and a half, and I was getting them every night, almost every night.
That is crazy that you say that, because that's the one thing I would not think about. And it's funny because I get heart palpitations now, and that's all right. Everything is really random, and everything has been escalated from 0 to 100 real quick. And I'm like, where did this come from? So what I want to hear from you is, what did the doctor say initially? So I know that, when you were pregnant with your second son, you were saying that that's when you were diagnosed, right?
Correct.
But my question to you is, did they say, okay, as soon as you have your baby, hysterectomy?
No, back then, because I haven't had any since. So he's about to be 25 now. He's the youngest. I haven't had any children since then. So I was just going to OBs for just regular paps and stuff. We weren't talking about it really. And then after a while, they start saying, well, Miss Jackson, what you going to do about these fibroids? It might be time soon. And then it might be time soon. Now, this is once I got into my late 30s. It might be time soon. It might be time soon. Then it was like, you need to really do something about this. Then it was like, this is ridiculous. You know that. Like, the doctors started telling me, like, this ain't going to kill you, but it's going to impact your quality of life significantly. You're already walking around looking the way you look, and you're having back problems. Your feet hurt, your back hurts, you have heart palpitations, you're peeing on yourself, you can't tie your shoes, can't breathe, like all this stuff. So their thing was, they just progressively got more stern with me. about, okay, I know you're running a business, but if you're running a real business, you should have someone in place to run that for you so you can take care of yourself before you won't be able to do anything. So yeah, over the years, they just started pressing me out more about getting it. And then we had the whole, hysterectomy discussion, because I come from a very like holistic cultural background where you're supposed to have all your stuff, you know what I mean? And your uterus is that's one of your chakras. It's your centering, So because of other spiritual and cultural reasons, I just didn't want to do it. And so the one doctor that did it, she was like, you don't have any other choice now. You waited too long. If you would have done it sooner, you could have got what you got, a myomectomy, which is what my mom got, which is a myomectomy, which is what my grandmother got. She had a myomectomy. Or I could have got what my aunt got, which was just the embolism. That's what she got. But she didn't plan on having any children, and she got it much sooner. But they were like, there's no way we could find a vein to 40 fibroids, Miss Jackson. They couldn't do it. So I had to end up getting a hysterectomy.
It's funny that you talk about the embolism. So for people who don't know what that is, walk me through what that option would be for a woman who's suffering.
Okay. Well, my very, not unprofessional description for my research was it's good for women who are out of childbearing years, or maybe just don't want to have children, because and not always, but they say if you're planning on having,
you should still be able to have children with it. But I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I think you're probably more right than me. I just remember them asking me, are you still having children? Because that will kind of impact, because if they're cutting off all the veins, and I had so many, it could have been for me, but they're cutting off all these veins in your uterus and then you expect to carry a baby, it might not work. So maybe for someone who doesn't have as many, they probably still have kids. But basically they showed me there's this main artery that goes right across your uterus in the front, and they use that artery to get to all the other arteries, and they just literally cut the blood supply to the tumors, which for me with over 40 fibroids would never work. But with someone like you're saying 4 fibroids, 5, 6 of them, they can find those and they just block off the blood supply and they die, and you still have your uterus intact and everything. Yeah. So
how was bleeding for you?
I didn't have much bleeding. You talking about after the hysterectomy?
No, during
before. Why didn't I talk about that? That was the main problem. It was
like,
horrible. I'm so glad. That's why I said, ask me anything. I'm so glad you brought that up. It was terrible. I remember being over my grandfather's house for Easter dinner, and I had to sit on an extra towel. How embarrassing. I had to sit on an extra towel because I happened to be on my period, and you never know. I might drop a clot. I mean, a big one, you never know. I would have to keep extra pads, extra clothes, extra underwear with me. Like, the bleeding was horrible. I would have to wear like those super good night pads during the daytime. And sometimes I would have to wear 2 tampons and a pad. Like, the bleeding was so bad. But what was interesting though, the doctors kept saying, well, your periods must be irregular. They weren't. They were just regular, 3 days, 4 days. So the secular part, I know the cycle part was normal. It's just that when I did bleed, it was heavy, but it was so normal, like clockwork. But
3 or 4 days.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a long period, which they thought that was so weird with all them 5. That girl had to sip her tea. Yeah, I don't know why. I just had a regular 3-4 day period, but it was just heavy, super heavy.
Oh my! Listen, I'm sorry that I'm shocked right now. If I had some pearls, okay.
I know, clutch them, girl, clutch them. I know. Man.
So it's funny that you bring that up, and I'm like I said, I'm happy to be having this conversation with, out of all people, you, because you understand from all sides, right?
Okay.
So for a person like myself, you're looking at 3 in a month.
Really?
Damn. And you're looking at like, one will be 5 days, one will be 8 days, one will be 10 days, and it's like, oh, so I just have like 3 days of happiness.
Right. That's almost a whole month.
Damn.
Really? Wow.
So, okay. So
I heard that before, though.
It's crazy. Support system.
I think that's more common than the way I was. I think the way you are was more common than mine. Most of my homegirls, they have crazy periods. They have fibroids, have crazy periods. So yeah.
So, and it's okay. So the ladies that you talk about, out of all of your friends, so let's say the average woman has a good core, 4 to 5 good girlfriends. Out of those 4 to 5, how many have fibroids?
Probably 4, maybe 5. I mean, like all of us. It's crazy. It's crazy. But out of my closest like crew of 5, probably 4.
And so what are they, what are their issues? What are they coming to you saying?
Very similar things. Irregular periods, heavy bleeding, pain, because after a while, you know, the fibroids get heavy and they kind of like when you're pregnant and your baby's pulling your tendons and stuff. Same thing. They complain about the pain. They complain about the bulkiness. Same thing. The urinary urgency. Same thing I was having. Everybody has like their own different, like how ours are similar but still different in a way. Kind of like that. Everybody has their own story, but a lot of us are experiencing the same things.
So you go through all of this and you say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and have this hysterectomy.
Uh-huh.
Did you have anyone in your life that was not as supportive during this time and kind of telling you, you know what, you're a woman. This is something women go through on a regular basis?
So yes and no. In my personal like circle, like I'm very close. I'm an only kid, so I'm very close to my mom. You know, my sons and all that. They were all like, "Do what you got to do." But because of the Pan African community that I grew up in, that was a different story. Because they're like, "Why don't you try this herb? Or why don't you try this first? Or why don't you get some prayer? Or why don't you, you know?" They want to try everything before they go to, you know, the system's medical treatment. You know. So on the outskirts, I did get some people, and it wasn't like they were unsupportive, but they were like, "Well, why don't you try this before you get a whole hysterectomy?" Which I appreciated. I mean, I did everything. I did the steam pots. I did the castor oil packs. I did all kinds of stuff. I did the little beads that's supposed to take stuff out, and stuff was coming out. But my doctor was like, "Oh, what are you pulling out? That's not normal," you know? So yeah, I did have some people who just wanted me to try other things, but not necessarily anybody who was like, "Oh, absolutely don't get a hysterectomy." I don't really have that.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, and that's something I appreciate. And what I'm also hearing from you is that wasn't the first thing that your doctor said years before, right?
Right.
Because in my, and for me, that's all I heard from day one. They're like, "Oh, you don't want children, so it's okay. You can have a hysterectomy." I'm like, I don't want a hysterectomy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I want. And so I hear a lot of women who have had hysterectomies. You either get the good or you get the bad, and I'm just like, you know what? I know what I already am dealing with, which is probably how you were feeling. Like, I already know what I got going on, so I don't want to make any changes. I don't want to change nothing. Let's keep it the way that it is. And then you end up years later having to do whatever.
Having to do it.
So let's talk about the hysterectomy.
Yes.
I saw that the video. I saw that you did look pregnant, which is so crazy because I met you and did not see any of that.
I was huge when I met you. I remember I met you around 18, 19. I was big as a house then. I was huge, but hiding it.
You did not look as big as a house. You look absolutely fabulous. And so I'm sitting here like, what did I miss? And how, Sway, how?
Everybody says that.
How? Yeah.
Oh, I've been hiding like that I've been big like that. I've had these for 22 years. The last 10, I was big like that. So I just got used to it.
You were nowhere near that stomach. I did not see that stomach at all, ever.
Oh, thank you. You see how I sucked it in? I got good at it. I got so good at it. Gone. Right. People will be like, "What?" I have a picture of one of my really good girlfriends. You know Storm, that plays with Belladonna. Her daughter, there are a lot of people in Bella are my clients, but her daughter had a baby. And I have a picture at her, I wish I should have sent you this picture, at her baby shower. And she was 9 months and I had my belly and we were both like showing our bellies because it was like the last picture before, one of the last pictures before I was ready to go public. And so she had her big belly. I had, and you couldn't tell which one was pregnant. And we were joking like, which one is pregnant? I make jokes out of it because,
when I saw that video, I sent it to about 3 or 4 of my good girlfriends who won't do. Yeah, oh no, I shared that video because of the importance behind it. Because I changed my diet and I was able to shrink my fibroids, right? And then I had the surgery thereafter because I'm like, they're not shrinking fast enough and I'm suffering.
Oh, yeah.
When I had the surgery, I was fine for years, no problem. I started eating meat. Every single problem came back times a million. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody to change their diet. You know, that's you. But my thing for me, it worked, right? So I was like, okay, fine, I'm going back vegan again. Child, it has not made one difference.
Really?
Not this
Wow.
time. No, I'm
Wow.
so far. I feel like I'm so far gone, and that is, in just a few months.
Mm.
So, to hear your story is just like, wow. And I'm glad that on the other side of it, you feel great, you look great, everything is going great. But
Mhm.
I do want to hear about what happened. So you have the surgery.
Mhm.
What then? And I want you, tell it. What happened?
Yes, yes, I can tell you everything. So as you were talking, it was interesting because I do remember one of my doctors saying that your fibroids do grow faster just as we age or whatever. Not that we're older. I mean, I was only what 45, I think, when I had my surgery, but he was saying like after 36, 37, 38, he said just with what your hormones doing, he said they're gonna get big and they're gonna get big fast. And I think that's what was happening to me. So maybe that's the difference in your first and second time. I don't know. But so the hysterectomy. So long story short, I go into the hospital. As you see, I had to have the up and down cut because I took too long. They couldn't get it out from the bikini cut. They literally had to open me up. I was scared half to death because I do not like getting surgery. I just don't want to. I've only had it once. I got hit by a car and stuck under the car, drugged down the street when I was 11. And so that's a whole nother story on my mama's birthday, outside of her business. That's a whole nother story. But that's the last time I had any kind of surgery other than having kids. And so what pushed me, though, I'll be honest with you, what pushed me is you heard me say I was out, because my son got hurt. He actually got shot in the neck by this jealous girl that shot him because he was over another girl's house. Now, he shouldn't have been over the other girl's house, but that's not how you handle it. You just leave the man, okay? Anyway, she shot him in the neck, left him for dead. So
He's
thank God
okay now.
hmm,
He's okay.
by the grace of God. When I say he's a walking miracle, like shot right through his carotid artery, he should be dead. They were like, we have no medical explanation why he's living. So
Because
they
of
ended up
God,
taking the artery from his leg and transplanted. I told him, I said, God ain't done with you yet. God ain't done with you. That's all I can say. And then on top of that, this is getting into another story, but just real quick. On top of that, he got charged with attempted murder because they just throw our black men under the bus. And mama had to lawyer up and see the girl was pregnant when she did it. And so she's pregnant and crying, saying, I shot him because he was trying to kill me. But see, my son is smart. He's a DJ and he has his whole house on surveillance. So he just showed the video of her attacking him. And that's how we got him, got those attempted murder charges dropped. They was gonna give him like 20 years. But anyway, saying all that to say, I was sitting on the side of my son's bed for months. I had to put real estate down. My transaction coordinator had to run everything. And I kept telling him, you're so strong. You can do this. Hang in there. And I was feeling like a complete hypocrite because I had been ignoring something for 10 years that was much less severe than what he was going through. And here I am telling him, you got this. You're going to be fine. You're strong. Everything is good. And I'm ignoring something for almost a decade. So as soon as he got back up on his feet, there the surgery I went. So the surgery wasn't bad. They took me in there. They gave me the medicine. I went to bed. I woke up and it was done. That was it. And I was concave, like my stomach was sunk in like a U shape. It was so flat. Yeah, it was so flat, which was kind of good and kind of not good because now I have like extra skin that I
Mhm.
wasn't really anticipating, but I got to work on that. The recovery was longer than I thought, harder than I thought. I don't want to sugarcoat that because I like to shake and move.
When you say it was harder than you thought, what is that? What do you mean?
Well, because in my warped brain, because of the way I think, I'm always wanting to move. Let's go. Let's do this. I talk fast. I move fast. That's just me. So I was like, I'll just be down for a couple of days. I'll be back. And then when I got the surgery, I was like, ooh, this is serious. So it took me a good 3 months to get normal. Yeah, it
That's
took
what I'm
me.
saying. So what is normal? I mean, what, like walking or just pain?
So the pain wasn't too bad. Actually, the pain wasn't that bad at all. I only had pain for the first couple of days, but it was just the walking was insane. Trying to walk, it was almost impossible. Simple things like you don't realize how much you need your abdominal muscles for things. I tried to plug my phone charger in the bathroom wall because I wanted to finally go home and take a bath when I got home. I could not plug my own charger in. That's how much abdominal force it takes, which I didn't know, to plug a charger in. I couldn't even do that. My son had to jimmy a string on my bed so that I could use it to pull myself up because I had no abdominal muscles to do anything. They had cut straight through them. So he jimmied me this string and I would use a string and pull myself up because I couldn't get up. And another thing my mom taught me, because she's a physical therapist, she taught me how to log roll. So she said when people have problems like that, She showed me how to log roll on my side and then get up that way, because basically you're using your side muscles and not your front muscles. It was all kind of stuff. I mean, it took a while to start walking again. Even to open up a door was a lot of pressure on my stomach. The body is brilliant. I didn't sneeze for probably 6 weeks. And the first, I didn't sneeze. I think the body knew it was too much. And then I didn't cough for like maybe a week. And the first time I coughed, oh my God, I thought I was going to pass out. It hurt so bad. I thought I was going to bust every stitch. And one of my girlfriends told me, she said, you're going to need a cough pillow, but I ain't listen. So I got a little pillow off my mom's bed, off her couch. And I had to take the pillow and lean up against a wall so that I could like hold everything as hard as I could and then cough. It was crazy. It was crazy. But I would say after probably 4 weeks, you start to get normal. But it was really 90 days because I had, the fatigue is crazy. You just randomly fall asleep because your body's healing. I still have, like on my incision right here, I still have, I'll show you. This is the incision from it. And I still have, I still feel weird there sometimes. Like I still feel tearing, but they said it would feel like it's tearing. It's not tearing. But if I move too fast this way or this way, I still feel it. So it's been interesting, but it was just a much longer recovery. And they tell you for anybody watching this, take every single day of recovery that they suggest, because you will cause yourself more problems if you don't. They say 6 weeks, listen to them, because I caused myself problems because I did stuff too fast. And I think I tore something inside and it took longer to heal and I wasn't listening as usual. So yeah, take that time. Don't do anything after hysterectomy. Don't do anything. Just chill.
Okay. So we're looking at 3 months of downtime. You have that surgery and now you're better. Do you start going into menopause?
Good question. So for me, no. I'm sorry. I understand the question now. So I still have my ovaries. So they took my fallopian tubes. On some of those pictures, you can see my fallopian tubes dangling. I don't have a uterus. They took my cervix because I have a high cervical breast cancer issue in my family. So they took my cervix, but they left my ovaries so it wouldn't slam me into menopause. So it's weird because I can still feel when I ovulate, and I still have the things that would happen when I would have a cycle, like the pimple and the mood swings and all the stuff, but I just don't have no cycle. But I can tell I'm still cycling because the same things are happening, but I just don't have no period.
Okay. Well, and the reason I asked that question is because I do know quite a few people who have had the surgery and they have started to, they're premenopausal. What is it, perimenopause?
Peri. I'm in peri right now. It ain't no joke.
Yeah, so they're like, oh my gosh, the hot flashes, the what is it? The hot flashes, the
night sweats, the confusion, the mood swings, the sleepless nights, everything.
The sleepless nights. When you're going through those things, like what is it that has changed? Because I'm like, every woman has some kind, they have some kind of issue when it comes to temperature, I think, like from childhood. What makes it so different for those of us who have not necessarily started this process?
So I don't know if I know a lot of people say exactly what you said. They have the hysterectomy and then it throws them into menopause. But my doctor was very clear with me that she wanted to leave my ovaries. She was like, you're only 45. You're not there, but you're only 45. I don't want to just throw you into menopause. So she left my ovaries. So mine didn't really connect or relate like a lot of people's do, because I still have my ovaries now. Almost a year and a half later, I'm starting to see more perimenopausal symptoms, but they don't think it's related to my hysterectomy. They think it's just my age, and my mom started going through perimenopause at the same time, so they think it's that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to ask this question. I'm sorry. You
Ask
said
whatever.
it's an open book.
I am an open book.
Sex.
Let's get to it. I was about to say I want to talk about that.
Sex. I need to know. Like you have.
Same.
Really?
It's the same. Let me tell you something. This is. I'm gonna keep it G-rated. So
you can. You could.
Two things I'll say about that real quick. So I am a very conservative woman. Okay, when it comes to certain things, and so I have been using tools from the same toolbox for a very long time. And so I figured he would know the difference, you know? So, because if I'm not in a relationship or something, then I'm not going to be all over the place. I'm going back to that same toolkit, right? So I asked him, I was like, well, was it different from before and after? He was like, feel the same to me. And I was like, okay. So I told the doctor, I was like, well, if I get a hysterectomy, I was like, I don't want to be dry. And she was like, well, actually, it doesn't come from your uterus. It comes from your vaginal walls, or your lubrication comes from your vaginal walls. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm okay. So now that was, a long year and some change ago. So now I'm in a whole full-fledged relationship now. And he was married for 27 years before we linked up. And I said, well, you were with somebody who has a uterus, and now you're with somebody that don't have a uterus. And he was like, it's the same. I don't feel no different. It's the same. So it's the same from what they say. Let's say ain't trying to hurt my feelings. Because the toolkit guy, he been my friend since high school. So, that's 30 years of, I'm not going nowhere else. I can't, I know some people be all out there like that. It ain't no feelings. It is what it is, right? Now, this is before my relationship now, okay? But he's my friend first. So he was honest with me. He was like, no, I don't think it feel no different. So.
Listen, that's what I wanted to know. Okay. And I'll tell you why. So I told you I had my fibroids removed.
Yes.
Right. And I just knew, because with everything that I was going through, I was like, Lord, I love how everything feels before the surgery. If anything changes, kill me now. Okay. Just go ahead and kill me during the surgery. Wake me up, Lord.
Dead but now.
Right. Take me, Lord. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so afterwards, I'm like, okay, we're good. Mm-hmm. Well, now that my fibroids are back, the funny part is that I'm not as like every 20 seconds. Like before, it's like, okay, every 15 minutes, I'm like, what you doing? How about me?
She said, how about me?
Now I'm like,
I love it.
Maybe every 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nowhere near, I'm not nowhere near on the same level of I want it as I was. And my doctor was like, oh no, it's because of your fibroids. Like, you're always in pain. So I'm always in pain. I'm in pain right now. Like, I'm in pain morning, noon, and night.
Me too. I was the same way.
I don't understand. I'm like, how this was, I was never in pain. Even before, I wasn't, no, I was in pain, but only during my cycle. Mm-hmm. And so to hear your situation, I'm like,
I was the same way. I was always hurting, but I didn't have pain during intercourse. And I know a lot of women do, though. I didn't have pain during intercourse.
I have pain because it's Saturday.
You said pain what?
I have pain because it's Saturday.
Yeah.
I know I have pain because I woke up and went to sleep.
Yeah. Seriously, I was always hurting. And don't let me move too fast. Oh my God. If I move too fast and them fibroids ain't go with me, like my belly ain't catch up. Oh my God. But I was the same way. I was just always, I was always in pain so much that I didn't even realize I was in pain anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, how you live with the pain so long. I didn't even realize I was always in pain, always uncomfortable. Something was always pulling, hurting, pushing, twitching, something, always. So now it felt weird after I've healed up from my hysterectomy. I'm like, I don't feel nothing. Yeah, it's like, I just had it so long, but I can understand if it's impacting that, then I probably won't want to do it either. But
when I tell you it's crazy. So Queen, okay, look, Queen of Love, child, listen, we're going to send you all the good juju and all the love. She says she's scheduled for March 20th. So we want to make sure that she is good.
Congratulations.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful sister.
Yes. Prayers all over that.
Prayers, yes.
Yes, she is going to walk out stronger than she went in. She's going to have a whole new life. And the good Lord is going to bless her and her surgery. I'm going to claim that right now. Right now.
No, so one thing that I decided to do is, because funny thing, I still don't want to have a hysterectomy. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation. I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because that's every single doctor. They're like, hysterectomy. I'm like, sir, ma'am, sit down. So it looks like I'm gonna go with the ablation.
Okay.
And so I want to see how that works, because they said that it slows down your period on the next level,
Oh,
and
I'm
your
sorry. Wait, I
pain.
don't think I understood what you're saying. You wait, say it again. I thought you were talking about the embolism. No,
No.
what's up?
So I was
What's
gonna
that?
have an embolism. I actually met with the doctor, but it takes too long for it to happen. And I'm like,
Mm,
if I'm
yeah.
getting a cycle 3 times in a month, 2 times in a month, we want to
Mm-hmm.
put a stop to that. So I
Mm-hmm.
met with the doctor, and they're like, you know what? You can do a Lord Jesus, what did I just say? Whatever I
Ablation.
just said, an ablation. Talk
I
about me
never even
later.
I never even heard of that. What's that?
So it's when they either take, there's three options. They take hot oil, hot water, or they freeze it.
Hmm.
And they actually freeze or burn your uterus to the point where it'll, so you still have it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's still there,
Mm-hmm.
but you are no longer, it's kind of just getting rid of all of the nastiness that's attached to it. So I'm like,
Mm.
okay, just burn all them puppies off. Just burn them bitches.
I mean, that sounds like a great option to not have to have a hysterectomy.
So that's what, and the downtime is less severe.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had the myomectomy, I was down. So I've had so many surgeries, Lord Jesus. I'm cut everywhere. Look, I got a cut here. I mean, when I tell you I'm cut all over the body.
You had a trach? That looks like a trach scar.
No, I had half of my thyroid removed. I had a
Thyroid.
tumor the size of an orange.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Lost my voice and everything. It's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Not your gift. What?
Ma'am, yes. I was told I was never going to be able to sing again. And
The devil is a lie. Uh-uh.
girl got the voice back.
I know that's right. Wow. What a testimony. My goodness, I didn't
Listen,
know that.
but no, I got so many things. I've been cut so many times. I'm like, I just don't want any more surgeries. But anyway, all the surgeries I've had, no pain. I mean,
Mm.
like when I tell you I come out on the other side, like, please, I could do that. I could do that standing on my head.
Mm.
Now, when I had the myomectomy,
Mm.
a bitch wanted
Mm.
to kill people.
Mhm.
It was the most
Mm.
pain I've ever been in my life.
Mm.
So that's why when you said that you didn't have any pain,
No, I didn't really.
that
Not
is
really.
amazing. I
Now, I should probably preface this by saying I was pretty drugged up. So maybe I did, but they just kept me drugged up really well. But it wasn't like, oh God, I just had hysterectomy. I'm in so much pain. No, I never had that. I just took my pain medicine. And honestly, I stopped taking it as quickly as I could because I wanted, like, if I was hurting somewhere, I wanted to know that. And that would help me slow myself down or know when to, because your body is, I mean, your pain is your body's signal that you need to chill out. And I'm like, I'm not going dead to pain and out here running around and messing myself up. So I only took it for the first, little while when I really needed it. And after that, I said, no, I want to feel what's going on. So I know if I'm doing too much or when I need to chill out or, whatever.
You know what?
Hmm.
I want to know because hearing you talk about the fact that you didn't have pain, but hearing your story is magical. And to see
Oh,
you on the other side, like I'm so grateful that you were here to tell the story and all the ladies were able to hear it.
oh, thank
Um, well, because there's so many of us that have that story and and to your point, we don't take care of ourselves. Um, we don't take care of ourselves. We take care of everyone else but us.
you. Mm-hmm.
And we make sure that the world is good before we even realize, oh wait, my leg is cut off. Like, how did that
Right.
happen?
Oh, I left my leg.
I left my leg. Where did it go? Where did that go? Huh.
We will go to the, especially like, I mean, I've seen you in professionals. I've seen you in your business professional setting and I've seen you in your entertainment professional setting. I've seen both. And I know you have a certain level of excellence that you operate in. And so when you have a brain, that kind of brain like we do, it's like, you want to just make sure this is taken care of and make sure that's taken care of. And I mean, I was like, be out for 3 months with my clients? Oh no, because I have very high-end clients. So even if I didn't, I don't care how much you're spending, I'm going to give you a certain level of service. And I don't really trust anybody else to do that. I mean, I had to fix that. I have a transaction coordinator now, but I just could not see being out that long. But then
I
look what I did.
understand.
Yeah.
A funny story has nothing to do with fibroids, but
Mhm.
I remember. Do you remember H2O?
Yes.
So
She went back.
I know, right? Those of you who are not from the DMV area, H2O was like one of the hottest spots
The spot.
in in the DMV, and
Huge.
it was actually very huge. And I had a performance there, and it was like one of my biggest performances at the time, right? For me to be able to say I performed at H2O was a very big deal. Well, chat. I ended up getting food poisoning.
Oh no.
Now, if anybody's ever had food poisoning, and I mean on the level of food poisoning that I had, food poisoning?
Oh my
It's
God.
the work of the devil.
Yeah.
I was so sick. And they're like, well, we're going to have to cancel the show. This is H2O, honey. I am not canceling the show.
Okay.
I am not. You cannot pay me to cancel the show.
Cancel the show.
And so I went, I did the show, food poisoning. And right after, everybody's like, all right, April Santa. I'm like, all right. Turned right around and threw up all over them.
Oh my God.
Not in front of everybody. But the fact is that, to your point, we want to make sure everything else is taken care of before us. Yeah. And that's just, it's a woman thing. It's how women are made. It's how our brains are. Yeah. It's how we're wired, to your point. So I'm glad that you took care of yourself. I'm angry that you took care of yourself so late. Yes. I'm glad that you did it.
Me too. I look at that video, I'm like, Malika, how could you? Like, I should have had that 10 years before, honestly. I should have had that 10 years before. But 10 years before, I was trying to get my business off the ground. The kids were young in private school. I'm a struggling entrepreneur trying to pay for their private school. That was the last thing I was thinking about. But I should have really done it 10 years before. And then I would have had a little cute bikini cut and not this big scar that's going to be there forever, but.
Well, I'm glad you took care of it. And the scar or no scar, you're beautiful. The fact is, honey, this is the part that kills me. That you looked pregnant. And you did. I mean, you looked pregnant and nobody knew. In addition to that, once you had the surgery, no stomach at all whatsoever. So your whole stomach was just filled with fibroids.
All fibroid.
That's crazy.
Okay. That whole big ball is just 40-something tumors. That was it.
So real quick, if you don't mind, babe, how do we follow you on Instagram?
Oh, I would love to, and I'll make sure I follow y'all back. It's Malika, my first name, Malika. There we go. _sales_DC.
What about Facebook?
Same. Yep. Facebook is at Malika Jackson and Malika C. Jackson. Yep, you got it right.
Now, and you have YouTube.
I do. I'm not as active on there. I don't remember to post on there all the time. April, I'm gonna lie. I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook, but I need to get my YouTube together. Like I have series up there and stuff, but I'm not like super active on it like I should be.
Well, so then that means that ladies and gentlemen who are watching right now, make sure that you go to her YouTube page and follow her on the YouTube. Because if we get her numbers up,
this is gonna make me get myself together.
Yeah, because if we get your numbers up, then that means beautiful things can happen. Amen.
Amen to that.
And the TikTok.
Yes, I am a talker. I'm trying to get back. But yeah, same thing. Malika Sells DC. Malika _sales_DC.
With everything that we just talked about, what is it that you would want everyone to know?
May I give 2 things really quick,
fast? Can give as many as you like, because you are awesome.
Okay, so 2 things. One, it is not as bad as you think. It is not as bad as you think. Because after I did the surgery, I was like, I really suffered for 10 years for this, and it was over in 2 hours. What? Like, I was mad, frustrated at myself, So it's not as bad as you think. And 2, please don't procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Get your sonograms, get your PAPs. As soon as you feel like it's becoming too much, as soon as it's impacting your quality of life like it has for me in April too, get it done. Just get it done, because my whole life is different now. I can breathe, I can move, I can wear what I want to wear, I can make my money, I can show houses, I can start in the basement, honey, and walk upstairs, without falling out when I get to the top floor. Like, just don't procrastinate. That would be the first thing. Do not procrastinate, please, because it can cause you further issues. And it's not as bad. The surgery is definitely not as bad as you think it would be. Those would be my two things.
I love it. I love it. Now, I know that we've talked about bleeding and fibroids and hysterectomies and all of that jazz. Real quick, for all of the people in the DMV who are looking to potentially purchase houses, what is it that you would like to tell them about your business?
Oh, okay. Good thing you said DMV, because I was about to say, wait a minute, you're supposed to get them. You're supposed to get those referrals.
Now, look, okay, so make sure anybody in the DMV, y'all call me first, and then, no, just messing.
Well, no, I love real estate. I've been doing it almost 18 years. This year, 18. I did regular real estate for 10 years. I did international real estate for 2, and then I've been doing entertainment real estate for 6. So,
okay, talk to me about international real estate, please, and thank you. Question
oh,
mark?
sure. So my mentor is going to have a good mentor. I've been in 18. She's been in almost 40. So my mentor was like, they only have the international real estate class a couple times a year throughout the country, and it's coming to DC, and you're going to take the class. And I was like, okay. Okay. So at first I was like, international, I don't sell internationally, but I have to think about it. I'm like, if my mentor is telling me this, then I better do it. So it was perfect, because I took the international class, and then I was able to mix my, I love going to Africa. I'm like, I got to figure out how to mix travel and real estate. So I did some international real estate seminars over in Africa and stuff like that. It was so much fun. So yeah, I just took the license and took the class. It was 1 week, all day for a whole week, but it was worth it. It was worth it. So I did that. And then I've been doing real estate to the stars the past 5 or 6 years. So most of my clients are talented people like you, singers, actors, dancers, go-go bands, painters, hairdressers, barbers. I love that crew. And I love that crew because they get paid differently, just like I do. We get paid differently. And sometimes that population feels like they might not be able to buy, but you actually can. You just need the right products. So that's my whole mission now, just telling people that have alternative incomes, people who are entertainers on tours or whatever they're doing, that you can still buy. So that's what I do during the day when I'm not fighting for the fibroid warriors. That's what I'm doing.
So you also, to your point, when it comes to out of the box financing, you also do, you have something involving financing yourself?
Yeah. So, I started as a lender actually, and I'm glad I did, because it made me really good at real estate. But I just have a dynamic lender. Well, you know how it is. We have a couple lenders we use, but we usually have like one favorite. And so I have an amazing lender. He's the same lender that I bought this $500,000 condo at the harbor using one of those programs, because I don't have 2 paycheck stubs like like a 9-to-5 person. And so he used a 1099 income program, or we have no doc programs, we have bank statement programs. Because a lot of my clients, they might get paid by tours, they might get their gig workers, things like that. So they need alternative ways to buy. So yeah, we have some good programs for that.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate you again for taking this time out. Anything else you want to share with the ladies?
I do. You must have been feeling my heart. I want to tell you this one thing. For people who are going to get this surgery, please buy a pregnancy pillow. I know this is so small, but the reason why I'm saying it is because when I tell you it saved my life, if I ain't had that pregnancy pillow during my recovery, oh God, I would have been in so much trouble, because I didn't realize that when you cut yourself down the middle and you lay on your side, you feel like you're splitting wide open. And so I would have to you feel the gravity pulling that part down. So I had one pillow. I think for like the first 6 weeks, I had to sleep with my stomach on a pillow just to keep it together. So yeah, somebody told me, they were like, girl, you better buy a pregnancy pillow in addition to the cough pillow. But they were like, buy that pregnancy pillow so you can have something to lay your tummy on. And again, I ain't listen. So I had to make one. But buy that. It'll save your life, y'all. But that's it. That's all I got to say.
Oh, listen, come through with the pregnancy pillow. All right.
Amazon.
Listen, beautiful ladies, I sincerely appreciate you from the absolute bottom of my whole heart for joining us today. I love this conversation. This conversation gave me life. So thank you so much. Y'all be beautiful, be blessed, and be as ugly as possible. Understand God loves you.
Yes. Thank you.